you'll never amount to anything without me.
Yeah.
I made you. So now you think you're better?
Yeah.
Because now you want to leave? You're so useless. You can't even think straight.
You spend so much time, even in therapy.
Yeah.
You spend so much time questioning that if this is really narcissistic abuse.
Yes.
Because what do you mean? I love this person.
Yeah.
And they've said they love me. And they've showed me that they love me. I've got proof. I've got instances and things that they have done to show that they love me. I mean, they raised me. What do you mean? They're my best friend. Why would they be a narcissist?
Anything that you do that would make them look bad, you are going to be punished. You are going to be humiliated.
Yeah.
And you are going to feel their wrath over your life. You can't go against them in any way nor shape. They don't have the listening ear or the capacity or the emotional understanding of where you're coming from. They will twist things to benefit them and make you the problem in the situation.
Yeah.
So when you're dealing with this type, this is a person that you're constantly going to be apologizing to, right?
For even breathing.
Yeah.
When we think about narcissism, we normally think about it in the dynamic of a partner or a friend.
Yes.
But a parent is difficult.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking, what would I see, right, to know that my mother is narcissistic or my father is narcissistic? Like, these are my caregivers. These are people that I look up to, that I've known for the longest time. What do you recognize in a parent who is a narcissist?
All right. So the common traits are emotional unavailability.
Yeah.
That is the common trait. And this is why now women who have experienced narcissistic traits, either from a narcissistic parent or an emotionally non-attuned parent, they will then connect themselves with someone that had those traits. They don't attract the narcissistic partner. They choose them simply because it's familiar.
They've built up that muscle also. Hi, this is Khanyisa, and welcome back to the Legacy Collective with Khanyisa. This is a platform where we heal from, talk about, and transform our legacies. Legacies that have been passed down to us, legacies that we are living out to live out to the next generation. And if you've just joined us or just subscribed, thank you so much. We see you, we love you. Today we're going to talk about a very sensitive topic, but a very empowering one. And if it triggers you, it triggers me too. Today we're going to speak about narcissism, narcissistic abuse, and narcissistic upbringing. And joining me in studio is Dr. Nomathamsanqa Watala, a coach, an entrepreneur, and a trauma-informed psychotherapist who has helped a lot of women to recover from narcissistic abuse and all kinds of trauma wounds. And she has helped me as well in my healing journey. Doc, welcome.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Sure. I think today we're going to talk about something that's quite important.
Yes.
But also very misunderstood.
Yeah.
Very loosely spoken about. I mean, you hear it on social media, you hear it in boardrooms, in families, where everyone just throws around the word saying, narcissist.
Yes.
Hey, narcissist. Or especially women.
Yes.
Saying that men are narcissists. But I have learned that there are multiple kinds of narcissists. There are different ways narcissism shows up.
Definitely.
So before we even go into all of that, can you just take me through what it is, what narcissism is?
Narcissism is basically a psychological abuse, right?
Yeah.
So it comes in different ways. It can be overt. It can be not so overt. It can come as a form of self-pity. It can also become as a person who is a leader. So those type of narcissists, especially the ones that come as a leader, are normally our people that are in church.
Yeah.
Your philanthropist type of people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people always think that narcissism is always going to be like right in your face. It's going to be overt. You can pick it up. And this is why a lot of people end up finding themselves in that trap for such a long time, because it's not always overt. And just on the point that you are saying that a lot of people think that it's mostly males that are actually narcissists.
Yeah.
I've actually encountered more females who are narcissists than males.
Yeah.
But also coming to the spectrum on narcissism, because that is a personality disorder.
Yeah.
Now, people might have narcissistic traits. All of us, actually.
Yes.
All of us.
Yes.
You know, no one is actually exempt.
Yeah.
But then the others, they take it a little bit too far in terms of harming others, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you about myself. For example, how my narcissistic traits kind of showed up.
Yeah.
Before I did my own trauma and healing journey, which I'm still on in the past 15 years, even though that I've helped thousands of people around the world, I'm still working on myself because me being brought up by a parent who was a narcissist really did impact me in a very negative way. Me being raised by narcissistic parents, how now narcissism or the narcissistic traits I had was manipulation.
Yes.
My form of manipulation was I needed you to exaggerate my situation. So let's say, for example, I fell, right? But I'm going to take it further to say I fell, I scraped my leg, blood was coming out because
I rolled over.
Yes, you know, while I was still getting up, the dog came and started chasing me. So I would collude all these things all in one. Why is that? Because I wasn't seen or valid or even acknowledged by my caregiver, which was my mom, the primary caregiver. So now I always felt that I didn't matter. So now what do? I try to make it extra.
Yeah, you know, do things that will make my story more important.
Yes.
That I take center stage and people hear me, see me, care for me.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the most difficult things to face, right?
Yeah.
When we think about narcissism, we normally think about it in the dynamic of a partner or a friend.
Yes.
But a parent is difficult.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking, what would I see, right? To know that my mother is narcissistic or my father is narcissistic. Like, these are my caregivers. These are people that I look up to, that I've known for the longest time. What do you recognize in a parent who is a narcissist?
All right. So the common traits are emotional unavailability.
Yeah.
That is the common trait. And this is why now women who have experienced narcissistic traits, either from a narcissistic parent or an emotionally non-attuned parent, they will then connect themselves with someone that had those traits. They don't attract the narcissistic partner. They choose them simply because it's familiar.
They've built up that muscle also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the dysfunctionality taught them, this is what I know. And remember, they didn't do any repair and recovery and healing work.
Yeah.
They moved from the upbringing to finding their feet in the world. So now they're like, okay, I align to this because this is familiar. So the nervous system is also saying, no, this is familiar. The brain is like, no, this is familiar. Hence,
they can ignore us.
Yes.
We know what ignored looks like. And we know how to, we've got the muscle to they can abuse us. We've got the muscle to take care of it.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
This is why now a person says, I keep on finding emotionally unavailable people. No, that was part of your upbringing and your foundation phase as you grew, right? Yeah. So that will be the first one. The second one is a parent who gaslights you, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is, let's say something happened and your parent either psychologically or physically harmed you. Now you are reporting what they did to you, right?
Yeah.
And then they said, no, that's not what it happened. So as a child, you kind of pushed against the wall.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean that didn't happen? Yeah. Just a little story with me. When I confronted my mom about what she had done to me, especially the psychological abuse, because with her, I experienced psychological, physical and financial abuse as well, right?
Sure.
And now when I confronted her, she said that there's absolutely no way she could do that to her own daughter.
So the whole daughter is the one that's crazy.
I literally had to go to all my neighbors, the one on the side, the other side, in the back, and I'm like, you guys were there, saw it. You saw this. Because she was more overt, my mom. She didn't hide the things that she was doing.
Yeah.
She was very pompous, very strong, very confident. and she was respected.
Yeah.
So it was easy for her to get away with a lot of things. So that is also another trait. And then the third one is invalidating a child's emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
Right? So you are coming and you are being told, you are coming and say mom or dad or aunt or whatever caregiver is there.
Yeah.
And you say, look, this is what happened and I'm hurt. And they say, ay, suka,
Yeah.
there's no such thing. You are overly sensitive
Yeah.
or you are overreacting.
Or they harm you,
Yeah.
and then you cry.
Mm-hmm.
And then they say, well, we'll beat you so you can know what you're crying for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So those are some of the traits that you would find when you are being raised either by a parent who is a narcissist or have narcissistic traits or doesn't have emotional attunement.
Yeah. Do they struggle with accountability? And here's why I'm asking you. A lot of women that I've encountered in our support groups, in our retreats, one of the things that they would say they struggle with pertaining to their mothers is this lack of accountability and the inability to just answer normal questions like, where is my father or who is my father?
Yeah.
She would rather roll on the floor or say, how dare you look for your father when I raised you?
Definitely.
Anzima. What do you want from him? Would that be a trait of a narcissistic mother?
Yes, that would be a trait of a narcissistic mother or a emotionally immature parent. One of the reasons why they cannot take accountability, because once they take it, and then it's going to expose them that truly they did do something wrong.
Yes.
But also people that have the spectrum of narcissism, they don't have that emotional capacity in the parts of their brain that can say, I really did do something wrong.
Yes.
Ayiko.
Yes.
So it's like they don't do anything wrong at all. Like my mom found pleasure in harming me.
Yeah.
So she was a hairdresser and she had a salon. So she would take itong. Remember itong? We don't have tongs anymore.
Yeah.
She would burn my ears. I don't know. I think I've told you the story in one of our sessions. And she would burn my ears and she would say that the reason why I'm doing that, unyabile, you are just too timid.
Yeah.
And for me, being timid was actually survival.
Yeah.
Because again, if I would speak, again, so there was always a problem. And one of the things we learn at foundation phase as first daughters is to be chameleons of our environment, is to be what everyone around us requires to survive.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're making me think of things like the golden child.
Yes.
The easy child.
Yes.
The good girl.
Yeah.
The one that needs to sort of camouflage around everyone to make sure that their needs are not too much. Yeah. They people please to make sure that, everyone is okay.
Yeah.
And when they grow up, they become these people that I think, again, like you said, very manipulative.
Yes.
Because you manipulate a situation to make sure that you are safe.
Yeah.
In that situation. If someone is going to be controlling, you will manipulate them and give them the information they require so that you are safe with them.
Yes, definitely.
Now let's go into in our adulthood, narcissistic relationships with our partners as well as our friends.
And even in the workplace?
Even in the workplace.
Yes.
With our bosses, because my goodness. Yeah? Sure. What are the different kinds of narcissists that are there?
Okay.
You mentioned that sometimes they can be out there and we all know them. Sometimes it could be hiding in plain sight. What do they look like?
Yes. Okay. So the first type of narcissist is what we will call grandiose, right? So this is the overt narcissist.
Okay.
This is the narcissists that are very confident.
Yeah.
They are very out there. They are loud. You feel their presence. They are very charismatic, right? And they are normally executives in the workspace.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are very intelligent or hold high position or they have power.
Yeah.
Majority of those, my mom was that.
Yeah.
That's what she was,
Yeah.
right?
The overt.
And yes, the overt, right?
Yeah.
So for them, anything that you do that would make them look bad, you are going to be punished. You are going to be humiliated, and you are going to feel their wrath over your life. You can't go against them in any way nor shape. They don't have the listening ear or the capacity or the emotional understanding of where you're coming from. They will twist things to benefit them and make you the problem in the situation. So when you're dealing with this type, this is a person that you're constantly going to be apologizing to. Right?
For even breathing.
Literally. Even just the 2 steps that you took, you're going to be apologizing because you don't want to set them off. They also go off very quickly at any given moment. And then now we look at the emotionally need to be rescued narcissist, which is like, yes, this is the covert narcissist now. Now, I've said it before and I'll say it now. I will always choose the overt narcissist over the covert narcissist.
Because you know what you're working with and you can run.
Exactly. You know who you're dealing with an overt narcissist. The covert narcissist shows up as the person who is the victim. Everything and every person has done them wrong. They are always in the need to be rescued. They are always in the need that they need some form of assistance. Now they show up like they really care. They really want to be either your friend. And I know
the nice guy. The nice girl.
They're very sweet. Okay, they're also very timid. They speak very softly, or they seem shy and down to earth. They, in my language, just Koseni, right? It's
Yes.
That's basically what it is.
Maluma,
Yes.
that.
Yeah, right.
And a rat.
Yes, right. Then now we look at the narcissist who is the savior, right? Okay. So this one is forever helping everyone. They want to be praised and complimented for their do's as well. And if you don't, then they're going to retract what they are giving. So this type of narcissism, or a person that has this type of narcissistic traits, they do based on what they can benefit. Everything is very calculated with them. It's never a matter of Ugubana, I'm doing this like truly for the bottom of my heart.
I see that a lot in my work with philanthropists.
Yes, exactly. You'll find them the same as
if there's no media, if there's no report that's going to, they're not interested.
They're definitely not interested. So those ones are saying that I'm going to pat your back because I know that I'm going to gain something and something from you. So also they are quite dangerous because, again, they are not overt. They come in as diangeta.
They are the healer.
Yes.
They are the empowerment.
Yes.
The spiritualist, the kumbaya man. They know what to say. They know the right channels to take you through so that you can say thank you to them, so you can be indebted to them.
Yeah, definitely. So you hear them saying things like, remember, I did this for you, so you are obligated to do this for me. And then the last one. The last one is what we call, the name now is flashing.
Malignant.
That. Yes. The malignant narcissist, right? This is the top of the dangerous ones.
Lethal.
Because this one uses psychological abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse, and financial abuse. They are the ones who literally enjoy you being in a very uncomfortable position. They come in showing like you actually are a doormat. They strip you naked of your confidence, of your self-esteem, of your self-identity. They beat you to a pulp. Consistently so, if you don't listen to them.
Even if it's psychologically beating you.
Yes, even if it's psychologically beating you. It depends on what triggers them. At that point in time, they're forever triggered.
Yes.
It depends on what triggers them at that point in time, and you're going to get it. You know, you're going to get it. So a lot of South African women, when we look at the GBV issues, are actually dealing with this type. Because most cases, there's a video that I posted on my TikTok at the beginning of the year, and I said, I said it in Xhosa, and I said, "Hlukanani ngobuza abantu why they stayed so long in an abusive relationship or marriage. Why did they only leave now? Because you create a trauma bond."
Yes.
Abusers in general now, like the full spectrum of abusers, they are not coming in and being abusive right on.
No.
They trap you with the love bombing, right? They put you into that cycle of abuse so that you have your guards down. They show up exactly the way that you want them to show up. And then after that, they start now diminishing you, breaking you down. So now devaluing you. That is actually called the devaluation stage.
Yeah.
This is when now you are confused as to, Haibo, what's going on here? Because this is not how we started. And this is why...
What did I do?
Exactly. This is why now the women would then say, I am the problem here, so I need to fix myself. Because this man did not start like this type of thing, right?
Yes.
And then it moves from the devaluation stage, and then they take you now to being discarded.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Let's go back to, so these are the stages of narcissistic abuse.
Yes.
So they start with the love bombing.
Yes.
Everything is amazing.
Yes. Everything.
Baby this, baby that. They are putting you out there for everyone to see. You are this high pedestal thing. You are bought everything. The family is, and then the second stage.
Yes, the second stage, which is the devaluation stage.
Yeah.
This is when they bring you down. They say your makeup is ugly.
Oh,
you're
not that smart.
You're not. Yes.
You're not that smart.
Yeah. It seems like you've gained a lot of weight. What's wrong with you? Did you see the hair, your hair? Why does your hair look like that? You think you're going to go out with me looking like that,
Also, like, Kanyisa has nicer hair.
Yes.
Could you not buy her hair?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you would be out on a date and they say, look at other women, how they show up, and look at you.
Yeah. And it's not always that way, by the way. It's not always the harsh, vulgary type of devaluing.
No.
It's in the very subtle things.
It can be also like a joke.
Yeah.
It can also be like a joke.
Yeah.
And this is where we also find it with friends, this part, where they are throwing some jokes. And then they're like, friend, I'm just playing with you. No, they
like,
know. Yeah, type of thing. Oh, why are you taking it so seriously? It's not that deep.
Yeah.
Especially as South Africans, we like saying it's not that deep.
Yeah.
And then the discarding stage.
Okay.
The discarding is they showing you that actually you are absolutely nothing. I don't need you. You have no value. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
This is when also the ghosting, and they use tactics like punishment of not communicating with you.
Yeah.
Because now when you withhold communication, it drives you insane.
Yeah.
Because now you're overthinking, did I do something wrong? You go back
to
so many of your texts and trying to check, maybe there's something that I did. No.
Yeah.
You are being discarded at this point in time. Yeah. But then now the narcissist is going to check.
Yeah.
He said, okay, let's hoover you, right? Let's hoover you and see, have you learned anything during this whole process I've taken you through?
Yeah.
Okay? And a lot of people think that narcissists are not calculative and they don't know what they're doing. They are very much aware.
They do. Yeah.
They know what they're doing. It's not that they are not aware.
Yeah.
So now, when you are in the hoovering stage, this is when now they check, did you catch something and you don't want them anymore? Or I still have a chance here and I can still continue.
Yeah.
So now, in this stage, if they see that you are withdrawing, they put you back into that cycle of love bombing. So now you think, everything is on.
Things are going back to normal.
Yes. No, he's changed, friend. Things are better. No, it's okay. No, it was just a misunderstanding. No, maybe I was just overreacting.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So this cycle, it's like you being in a washing machine, right? You're going from one cycle, from the washing to being rinsed, to being spinned, to being dry,
until you lose your mind and your sense of identity.
Completely so.
Because I think the most dangerous thing about this is that they come for your mind. They come for your sense of identity. They come for everything that you are.
They do.
I was saying earlier, Kere, when someone has hit you, They've come for your body.
Yes.
And there's a bruise.
Yes.
I can take them to the police station.
Yeah.
When someone has robbed me money, I can go somewhere to report them. When I have a partner that's dealing with an addiction, we can both say this person is an alcoholic or this person is a gambler.
Yeah.
And therefore, they have put you in this kind of danger and leave them. It's clear. But with this kind of abuse, which, by the way, people may not know this, that there is what we call narcissistic abuse.
Yeah.
Therefore, narcissistic abuse recovery. Right? And when you deal with that, I think you spend so much time, even in therapy.
Yeah.
You spend so much time questioning that if this is really narcissistic abuse.
Yes.
Because what do you mean? I love this person.
Yeah.
And they've said they love me. And they've showed me that they love me. I've got proof. I've got instances and things that they have done to show that they love me. I mean, they raised me. What do you mean? They're my best friend. Why would they be a narcissist?
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we struggle with is going through that process in recovery.
Yes.
Take me through, because when I came to you, I said to you, I'm coming for recovery. And you said, no.
We must repair.
We must start somewhere. Where do we start?
We start at a base of awareness. If you remember, there's an exercise I did that was called your trauma timeline.
Yeah.
And everyone, even as much as my programs are tailor-made for the specific client I work with.
Yeah.
There's 3 exercises that is a bottom baseline for everyone. So this is called the trauma timeline. Why is that exercise? And I remember you saying to me, the thing was difficult.
Yeah.
This is now finally telling you a story with no interruptions at all. What does that do? It brings awareness. Actually, this did happen to me.
Yes.
I'm not making this up. Now, if I say to you, right, before you do it yourself, I say to you, this did happen to you. It won't sink in. But the moment you are sitting in that course of 6 days without me holding your hand, right? I'm not there when you're doing this exercise.
To convince me otherwise.
Yes.
Yeah.
You realize there are certain things that you forgot. There are certain things that you remember. But the things that you forgot, you can feel, man, something did happen, even though I can't truly identify.
Yeah.
So that is part of the repairing of it. It comes with awareness and also you finally telling your story at the level you experienced it.
Yeah.
Not at what you were told it should be or whatever the case might be.
Because one of the things about their abuse is that there's a lot of gaslighting.
Yes. So it strips you from the reality, right? So I bring you back to that. Yeah. Now, if I, for example, you come to me and we go through the consultation and then you say, this is the key focus of whatever, or what you came for is not what we started with. Remember?
No,
it's not what we started with. Because that will mean that we are dealing with the symptoms and not the core root.
Yes.
The aim is for us to go deep so that there's nothing here. The symptoms here are circle anymore. You're not dealing with it anymore. So the gaslighting removes you from the true reality. And then that repair stage puts you back into reality. Yeah. This is now when your brain conceptualizes, oh, damn. So this is actually danger.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. And then your nervous system is now at a place of repair and being activated so that it can start being regulated. And that's why you now get the tools, your supporting tools for that.
Yeah.
Then once you are at a regulated space, we now deal with what you came with, what was the symptom. Now I can throw anything at you, you will be able to handle it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
That's true. Because I remember how when I came to you, you kept complaining that my posture was different.
Yes.
Even my hairline was not there.
Definitely. Yes.
And you did say to me that losing your hairline is part of trauma.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It is a symptom of trauma that you did experience.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that trauma, for example, is actually what happened to you. That is not what the trauma is. Trauma is also the things that did not happen to you.
Yeah.
Right? And it's how your brain at that time, either it happened too fast, it left you confused, there was no space for repair because you've got 72 hours when an incident happened to repair before we can categorize it as trauma. So if there wasn't repair during that period, this is why my clients can utilize their tools even after we are done.
Yeah.
Because I teach you now how to sustain yourself when life happens for you, right? So now you have experienced the trauma, chiki, all of a sudden your skin, you are more darker.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your skin. You don't understand what's going
on.
And your hairline, in your case, was gone, right?
Yeah.
It's gone. One of the things you were experiencing was your sluggishness, weight gain, and all of that. That is the stored trauma in your body.
Yeah.
That's when now the somatic experiences are very important to come in. Because now, like you said earlier on, the body does keep the score. Our bodies are one of the most intelligent and smartest things that you will ever that you will ever come across in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So your brain might have forgotten what happened, but your body remembers it.
Yeah.
This is one of some of the things when you go into an environment, all of a sudden you feel chills and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? Your body identified and sensed a trigger and your nervous system said danger. Right?
Yeah.
But because you are so traumatized, you can't even hear and listen to what your body's saying to you.
Yeah.
This is why other people either overeat or undereat. And they're like, hey man, I finished this whole pizza. That was not the thought. They're like, oh my goodness, it's been 2 days. I didn't eat anything.
Yeah.
You are so dysregulated that the sense of reality and your current state diminishes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They walk away from each other.
Yes.
Sure. What causes narcissism?
Yes.
Is it something that people are born with?
Yeah.
Is it something that you get to a place where you adopt it?
Yes.
What causes it?
So, based on a clinical experience and being a trauma specialist, right?
Yeah.
Being trained in the trauma space, there's no one who is born as a narcissist.
Okay.
No one is born. It is a learned behavior.
Okay. It's not even genetic.
No, it's not genetic.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But your mom or your dad might have been a narcissist and then you became a narcissist too. Why? Because that is what you learned in your environment.
Okay.
And then when you went through life with no form of repair and recovery and there was no healing, so you become what was.
Yeah.
This is when now other people would say, I am like my mom, or I am like that, and they have no care of it. But then you'll find other people saying, no, man, I feel like I'm acting exactly how my mom or dad acted.
Yes.
Now that person is not a narcissist, because people who have narcissism, they have no sense of accountability or self-awareness.
I remember in one of our sessions, I asked you this, and I said, Doc, do you think I'm a narcissist?
Yes.
And you said, by mere fact that you are asking me that question, you can't be a narcissist at all. Because they have no sense of even getting to a point. I mean, I think there will be someone who's watching this and they see themselves, but they still think, I'm not a narcissist.
Yes.
So you're saying when someone is able to recognize this,
they have the awareness of their traits, they know that they are doing something wrong.
Yeah.
They apologize and they acknowledge that is not a narcissist.
Okay.
No way.
What about people that call themselves self-aware narcissists?
Those ones, they are giving a word that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Right? And also they are making you how you view them, so that you can calm down. Type of, at least they're taking some form of...
Like I'm a snake.
Yeah.
And I know I've got venom. So relax.
Yes.
Because I know I've got venom.
Injalo. That's what it is. So if a person is going to come to me and say, I know I'm a self-aware narcissist, ngibaleka ngenyawo zombini. Because what's going to happen next? They're going to tell you, but then I told you. So why are you surprised?
Yeah.
Like,
I'll bite you.
I told you.
It's in my nature.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the adopted reality of their environment becomes a personality trait, maybe for survival. Maybe really, honestly, it was like for me.
Yeah.
It was for survival for me to be at that stance of over exaggerating a situation I'm in, so that I can get help because I wasn't heard or I wasn't seen, right? Yeah. And I remember with my therapist about 15 years ago and then she said, but you are also a manipulator. I'm like, oh yes. Sissy.
No, you told me that too.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. You said to me, I know I said you're not a narcissist.
Yeah.
But this and this and this that you've done.
Yes.
You have used manipulation.
Yes.
To get your way.
Yes. And that is survival.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have healthy tools or strategies how to go about it.
Yeah.
I mean, when we first started, you didn't even know what Grayrocking was.
Yeah.
You were literally, I mean, it was such a pleasure working with you because you were just sitting there and you'd be like, okay, so now when I go out there, this is how I need to. And I'm like, yes.
What's Grayrocking, by the way? For those that don't know.
Okay, so Grayrocking is a protection tool for yourself from a person who is abusive.
Yeah.
They don't have to be a narcissist.
Yeah.
They can be a narcissist, they can be abusive, they can be a toxic person, right?
Yeah.
This is now where you don't engage with the person. So instead of them twisting your words, you give yes or no answer. You become boring like a Grayrock. If you see a Grayrock, Janina, you give one-liner answers. Yeah. You show no emotion. I think I even said to you, scream, you're going to come and do this in your session. Yeah. You'll do it for now. You'll do it in your session. But also if you slip and you end up doing that, remember that this is a journey. You're still learning. You're unlearning and learning
at the same time.
Yes, at the same time.
Yeah.
So basically, Grayrocking is just to protect you where you don't engage fully. Yeah. You don't give off a lot of information.
How are you? Hi.
Yeah. You become uninterested. You remove yourself from always showing up, or even when you apologize for the sake of peace. You don't anymore. You just, it drives them insane because they're like, what the hell is going on? I'm not getting a reaction. Yeah. Remember, the core goal of a narcissist is control.
Yes.
Once you are like that, you don't show any emotion. You don't react. You don't fight. You don't curse. You don't shout. They like,
yeah.
Eventually, when you've mastered how to overcome a narcissist, they move to the next victim.
Yeah. And I think one of the most powerful gray walling tools is also to not go to the narcissist and say, I know that you are a narcissist. It's a waste of time.
You can never do that based on the principles that we've discussed already.
Yeah.
They don't have a sense of emotional attunement.
No.
I deal with a lot of first daughters. Most of my clients, 90% of them are first daughters, right? And when they come to me, they literally are demoralized. They don't know whether they're coming or going.
Yeah.
They've got such a sense of confusion about their lives and where they're at now, but they know that they need help.
Yeah.
That is the part. They know that they need help. And for me, if you don't know that you need help, you're not ready for the help.
True.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now, when you are I'd find them, they will say, but then my mom or my dad, I want them to know that they hurt me. Yeah. I want them to see the pain that I've gone through. I even get I want us to book a family session that you can tell them that they have done this to me.
Yeah.
I stop you immediately at that time and I say, I am going to be bluntly honest with you right now. You doing that, one, is you victimizing yourself.
Yeah.
Just like the person who has victimized you. But I understand, and then I validate you. You know this. I validate you and I say, you've done this because this is how you've learned to survive and cope for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, when you are seeking comfort through validation and acknowledgement from the same person that caused you pain, you are going to get more pain.
Yes.
Because that person does not have the capacity to give you that.
No.
I posted one of my videos on my YouTube and I said I needed to come to terms without the apology and the acknowledgement that it did happen, right? I had to learn to validate myself because I know the story, I know the experience, what it was. And with that, I realized that my mom was not going to be the person that was going to give me the peace.
Yeah.
Because if you want that validation and acknowledgement from them, you're still giving them control.
Yes.
You still say, control me.
Yes.
But the moment you say, kwanele andisavumi ngami, you then take the control in your own hands and then you work on yourself. And then you get to understand that you cannot control what's outside of you. You can only control your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and how you move or navigate going forward.
Hi, sorry for interrupting your viewing. I just wanted to remind you that if you're a firstborn daughter, we are hosting an inner child healing retreat in Durban, in Polokwane, as well as in Johannesburg. The details will be on the comment section. And if you're interested in being part of a healing space that's going to allow you to take down those walls and rest, please do contact us and we will get a space for you. And you spoke about firstborn daughters.
Yes.
And we are running a series on the legacy of firstborn daughters and just trying to help them understand themselves, their lives, the people around them, and so that they can live better, lead better, and so on. What do you think it is? So I know that anyone attracts a narcissist because, no. Anyone is attracted to a narcissist because they are amazing. They are great. They love from you, and. But what do you think it is about us firstborn daughters and our wounds that attract the narcissist?
Okay. So first, let's correct the part of attracting.
Yeah.
We don't attract narcissists.
Okay.
We choose them.
All right.
Unintentionally so though. Right?
Yeah.
Why do we choose them? What has happened in foundation phases of our lives, there was no repair. So there's fragment of that open wound that is still there.
Yeah.
So a wound can only become more wounded if it's not taken care of properly, right? It can become septic and all in all forms. But now this is a psychological wound that we have. So it's almost, make an example of a magnet, a piece of magnet, right? So let's say the piece of magnet, you had it in your pocket. And then a splint of it was left in your pocket, right? Yeah. But then you carried on with your life and you left the magnet, but you carried on with your life.
Yeah.
Now you keep on saying, I don't know, this pocket keeps attaching. Yes. Keeps attaching these certain things, right? What you didn't do, it's that lack of repair and recovery. You moved on without repairing and recovery because you didn't maybe have the resources. You didn't have the knowledge on how to do all of these things, right?
Yeah.
So you then go out there in the dating world and you meet this familiar person. Your nervous system says, there's something that I remember about this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I like this.
The magnet says,
let's do it. Understand?
Yeah.
Because there was no recovery and repair. Now you have this person in your life.
Yeah.
And you either you get married to them or they become your friend or it's just umjolo, like a long-term relationship or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
You get then to learn, because remember that cycle that they put you through, that this person also is not being nice to me. They're not good to me.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually that dies off. And you move away from that. You meet another person, different body, different name, different place, but same experience. Remember the splints? It's now in your foundation phase.
Yeah.
It's your adult experiences that were not resolved. So it's your childhood experiences that are not resolved.
Yeah.
It's your adult experiences that are not resolved. Now you're going. You just keep going and spiraling up and bumping yourself. The reason why that keeps on happening to first daughters now is because we come from a place where we are invalidated quite a lot.
Yeah.
We are put in a place where we are either intentionally or unintentionally taught that we need to run the family, the dysfunctional family system. You need to take care of the kids. You need to do this. You need to do this.
The parentification.
So the identity, the identity of self, you never experience and groom it. Yes. So your identity is what was expected of you. So now remember the fragments, that magnets, splints that you have, you bring this person, what do? You unintentionally on a psychological level try to repair the relationship that was broken in childhood with your parents, because the brain does not know what is real and what is imagined. Doesn't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So now you overdoing, you extend yourself in the relationship. They treat you badly, but then you still become nice. You have no sense of boundaries.
Yes.
Most first daughters have no sense of boundaries.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we don't have a sense of who we truly are. What we know is the conditioning of our environment that was conducive for the people that benefited from us and not necessarily Tina.
Yeah. And so we don't know what we would be if we were not needed.
Yeah.
If we were not fixing anyone.
Yes.
If we were not showing up for anyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember I called you Bob the Builder at one point? No. Yeah. And you then explain it so well, and I feel so good afterwards.
Yeah.
And I said it's a trauma response, and you looked at me like, what do you even mean?
Yeah.
Because again, that was survival. If you did not do, your value was not recognized.
Yeah. I'm no one without fixing anything.
You understand? Yeah. So now you want that to do. And then if, like, let's say you find yourself with a partner, or you find yourself with a friend, or in a work environment where your value is not valued, you're going to do more.
Yes.
You are going to do more.
You're going to stay up at night, stay at the office and leave at night and in an end. Yeah.
Some of the most hardworking and perfectionist and executive level type of women I've dealt with. I deal with amazing executive level women.
Yeah.
You were one of them as well at some point, right? Yeah. And what I've realized is all of them perform so well in society to benefit society and not themselves, and they are first daughters. Or they were the scapegoat in the dysfunctional family system.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
But majority of them, they were put in a role where they needed to fix and build and do and do and do. So you don't know anything outside of doing. That's why you feel guilty when you say no.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Because now it's like you are not meeting the narrative that is required from you.
Yeah. Sure. Let's paint someone a picture.
Okay.
Of the grandiose narcissist.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I feel that with narcissism, the most dangerous thing, and that is hindering to our healing, is that up to this time in our conversation, someone is still saying, yeah, maybe my Waka is not really a narcissist.
Yeah.
They're not cruel, man. They're not a bad person. I do see here and there, they are manipulative. They are this, they are that.
Yeah.
But I don't think they are a narcissist.
Okay.
Right. Let's paint a picture for someone of what kind of words come out of the mouth of a narcissist.
Yeah.
As part of their abuse.
Yeah.
Right. And I'll go. I think the kind of words that I have heard, even from the women that I work with, would be things like someone saying, if you divorce me, no one else will want you. You are amazing, but no one else will want you because, I don't know, you're safe with me. Or, I'm the best thing that ever happened in your life. What else are people saying in those relationships?
You'll never amount to anything without me.
Yeah.
I made you. So now you think you're better?
Yeah.
Because now you want to leave? You're so useless. You can't even think straight. I've sat with clients explicitly telling me some of the most horrendous things that they've heard. And they say it because they're so used to it until I bring them to, I'm like, do you even realize
what this person just said to you?
What this person just said to you?
Yeah.
You know? They say things like, anything that you think you can do you think anyone's going to listen or believe you?
Yeah.
No one's going to believe you. I mean, they know me. That's especially the grandiose part. Because they're so confident about it.
Yeah.
So they start breaking you before you can even speak. This is why a lot of people who've experienced narcissistic abuse don't speak immediately. It takes a very long time for them to speak.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you hear things like, this is something that I recently heard and I was shook from a client, and it was more on the intimacy part of things.
Yeah.
Even everything that you are doing in bed, I taught you. Oh, and you are not even good. So who else is going to tolerate that? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
As a mental health professional, I'm not supposed to be shocked. That day shock came out.
Yeah, no. But
shock came out. And only after that session, she sends a text and she said, Doc, I didn't realize how bad that was up until I saw your reaction.
Yes. Yes.
Because
it's always that.
I remember you asking me, saying, why are you laughing when you're saying this? Because there's nothing funny about this. And then I explained to her, she's laughing because it's a disguise for the pain she feels associated with that. So she needed to feel it. That was part of the repair.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that I think, you are crazy, you are delusional woman, with women now doing it to men, saying you are useless of a man.
Yeah.
Don't even function like a man. You can't call yourself a man. Some of my male clients have, just as I was like, well, we are toxic.
Yeah.
As women.
I think I told you the other day, there was a time where whenever I walked out of your office, there was a gentleman that was sitting on the couch waiting for his turn. And every time, so my interaction with that guy was every time I got out to greet him, we looked like we are here for like a nyope stash. He looked very embarrassed. He looked like, don't recognize me, don't look at me.
Yes.
And while on the other hand, even though I was the way I was, I wasn't really ashamed that this is where I am and this is the kind of help I'm looking for. How are men taking this? How are men looking for help?
Oh, my God. There's so much shame. There's so much a sense of embarrassment.
Yeah.
You see what you experience with that particular client. It's not what I experienced because I was safe for him, right? As much as I was a female, all right? But then he doesn't know how you see or view him. So his whole demeanor would change. And you are at a better healing stage than him. So you would come out with your bubbly self. Because I walk all my clients out. You'll come out with your bubbly self and whatnot, and he's there. But I didn't recognize that or saw that. Because with me, he wasn't like that. There's a lot of shame. Men, and I mean, it's when we look at men's mental health, it's not taken seriously. The world and society are believing that men are so hard that nothing can move them. Therefore, they don't have some sense of emotion. I've been blessed with amazing men. I think I said this to you. Maybe one day I must open up a program of matchmaking.
You did say that.
Of matchmaking, the ones that
would be a good business,
of matchmaking of my amazing first daughters who have gone through their hair recovery and healing and transformation. Because there's a transformation part of it. And my amazing first male sons.
Plug, guys, listen. Plug.
That and all of these people, all of my clients are high value clients. So it's people who are really have beautiful hearts and souls, just extremely wounded.
Knows that business.
These are big. So I remember sitting with you on one of our sessions and I was like thinking, maybe I should, because I've worked with both parties. I know.
And look, you know the deepest wounds of this one person and the deepest wounds of that person.
And each of you have worked on yourselves individually. Because most issues that are raised within a space of marriage and a space of relationships, it's the problem are not the individuals in it. It's their unhealed trauma wounds. But now, because they don't have that awareness, right? They on each other.
Yeah.
And now you hear men, for example, will say to first daughters, they are so masculine.
Yes.
Type of thing.
Oh, better we taste like men.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Oh, wow.
Better we taste like men.
Tongue.
Yeah. And it's not even on a physical taste level.
Yes.
You have heard a lot of women that are saying, my husband says I'm a man.
Yeah.
I wear the pants.
Yeah.
I'm
I
masculine.
get that a lot too.
Yeah.
I get that a lot too. And then with the males, they are called, but they are weak, useless. You know, you think you're this and you think you're that.
Sure.
And for males, it's a bit harder because with us we are more expressive.
Yeah.
Males are not expressive.
Are they healing from the mother wound as well?
They are.
Yeah.
Majority
Yeah.
are healing from the mother wound. I had a client about 4 years ago that said to me, this is one of my clients that before my office was moved from Pambili and I was put at the back.
Yeah.
Because they said, when are you bringing disruption?
Why?
Because that man screamed his life. He came in and he said to me, I have done so much for this person who was a partner at that point in time. Everything I gave, and he kept on mentioning money, cars, luxury, and all of that.
Yeah.
And I said, you do that because you don't know your value outside of these things.
Yeah.
In the past 45 minutes, we sat in this consultation. You even said, whatever, charge me however much you want, I can pay you.
Yeah.
And he just took a step back a bit. And I said, you are unaware because you don't have a good relationship with yourself.
Yeah.
So you're not realizing that this is actually a sabotage tendencies that is rooted in your trauma responses based to your unhealed trauma wounds. So you use all of these things as a form of identification, right? So it's easy for women to come and manipulate you and gain whatever they want from you. So you don't attract healthy women. They come in because bafuna something to use you. That guy was on the floor. He screamed so loud.
Yeah.
I had to allow him to weep for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it makes me emotional right now.
Yeah.
Because seeing a man that wounded, and he finished his program, you know. We completed his program. We continued our sessions back on back. Up until he moved the country. Now I see him once every 6 months.
Yeah.
And he's doing well and he's now married.
Sure.
And he was also told that he's incapable of having kids. And that then partner had cheated and gotten pregnant 3 times by someone else.
Okay.
And he was told he was incapable of having kids. He has
children.
He has children now.
And that's something I want us to talk about because we said before that the body keeps score.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And one of the processes that you take people through, and I'll allow you to take us through those processes. So you were telling me earlier that you also added neuroscience.
Yes.
So what's the first one, second one, third one?
Okay, so the first one has to do with CBT, right?
Okay.
So this has to do with your cognitive behavioral therapy. It's basically your talk therapy type of this situation where you offload and it feels great.
Yeah.
You know? And then DBT. DBT now is coming in like we're really doing the work where I structure psychological prompts that are not, you can't bypass the answer to make me happy. This is why sometimes, I think even with you said, I didn't know how to answer this.
Yeah.
Because of how those questions are put out.
Yeah.
Right? And then the third one is somatic, right?
Okay.
Experiences. So the somatic experiences is now when we are releasing the trauma that is stored in your body.
Yeah.
Because now I've had people who were not fertile, or there were issues of fertility. Now they can have kids.
Yeah.
I've had people who had, one of my clients, she texts me all the time. She talks about me all the time on TikTok.
Yeah.
She's a dietitian, and Nelly the dietitian.
Yeah.
She's one of the clients I worked with over a number period of times. She was underweight and she's a dietitian.
Sure.
So she knows that I understand the science of nutrition.
Yeah.
But it wasn't doing anything up until she came for trauma recovery.
Yeah.
And this is now when she started understanding the second brain of the body, which is in your gut.
Sure. Yeah.
And Somatic helps with all of those. And I was laughing at her because she was doing one of the trends. I'm like, you even have a bum. I'm like, ma'am.
And then there's no BBL.
So you have a bum. And she's also a first daughter.
Yeah.
So now how trauma showed up for her was also her just losing weight and not being able to pick it up regardless of what she did up until she did all the work. And then she started picking up healthy weight.
Sure.
So other people, in your case, for example,
Her hairline was gone.
because your cortisol gets affected.
Yeah.
So your cortisol is a very important hormone in your body, especially for women. So when we're dealing with the cortisol and it's dysregulated because your nervous system is dysregulated, this is why first daughters are not sleeping by avuk.
Yeah.
Or they're sleeping but they are not rested.
Yeah.
You understand?
No, we have a WhatsApp group. We have a support group here, WhatsApp.
Yes.
And like random 3 o'clock, someone is asking a question.
Yeah.
I feel like, how lala sissy. But how are we seeing the question? Because Nati, we're not sleeping.
Exactly at that time, you're used to being on overdrive, working, whatever. Even when you don't have to work, you want to keep occupied, even if it's not conducive for you.
Yeah.
So that's part of Somatic, right?
Yeah.
Then I bring in life coaching principles, right? Yeah. So the life coaching principles is from a personal experience and a professional experience with over 2,000 plus people that have successfully completed my program is now you've recovered, now you've healed, now you don't know what to do with yourself because you don't behave the way you used to behave.
Yeah.
So there's a sense of stuckness that feels now the being happy of having recovered all of this, now you feel lonely.
Yes.
Because remember, there's a lot of things.
Is lonely.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you've cut out of your life.
Yeah.
So the life coaching principles comes in to give you direction now on how to navigate moving forward as this healed version of yourself. But it's not just the healed version of yourself, but it's the most truest, authentic version of yourself that trauma doesn't now look in. And then the last one, which is neuroscience.
Yeah.
The brain, the nervous system, the spine, very important in trauma recovery and healing.
Okay.
You find people are like this, it diminishes or it impacts your posture over time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we picking up the weight in our boobs, for example, it that gets affected.
Yeah.
But a brain of a traumatized person and a non-traumatized person, you can't operate them at the same way.
Yeah.
Because this brain has learned different type of coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
This one has also learned different type of coping mechanism.
Yeah.
So neuroscience teaches the brain how to rewire itself through now reparenting and unlearning and relearning. And also that is through repetition.
Yeah.
This is why umntana, when you're teaching them how to speak, you repeat it over and over again.
Right.
That's how the brain. So as much as it might have been impacted by the trauma, your brain can rewire and be different and operate differently. And then your nervous system is the last one, which is now you are becoming more regulated. Therefore, things that used to trigger you, you're like,
what's going on?
Like I used to get triggered by taxi drivers on the street.
Sure.
I hated taxi drivers.
What was that for?
Because I had an encounter coming from school one day
where
I was sexualized as a school child.
Oh,
yes, by taxi drivers.
Yeah.
I had road rage. And I was going to say, "Futek on the road," because like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Now I don't even care what you're doing. I move on.
Yeah.
The other one was white man. Can I tell you about this? Why the rewiring and the neuroscience is very important.
Yeah.
I had an issue with white men and I didn't have a personal experience. I first thought that it was because of my our
history.
Yes.
Yeah.
And our history as Black people with obviously white people, more especially white men.
Yeah.
Up until when I was busy with my dissertation and I was writing my third chapter, this is when the memory that my brain suppressed because it wasn't safe for it to come out. Yeah, and I was sexually violated by a white middle-aged man who was a pastor of our church and who was also my best friend's dad. Sure. So my body could remember.
Yes.
I couldn't.
But the brain had blocked it out.
The brain had completely blocked it out.
Yeah.
But I was reactive towards yes, and I would speak with them in Afrikaans.
Yeah.
I would say, sometimes they would be like, "What's wrong with this woman?
What's going on?"
Because they would trigger me even without doing anything. So the nervous system now, when it's regulated, it doesn't get triggered where it responds on fight, flight, freeze, or fawn.
Yeah. It's what's happening right now.
Yes.
Not the subconscious stuff that it's storing.
Yes, that is unresolved.
Speaking of recovering the nervous system and the brain, can a narcissist change?
Okay. So a narcissist can be managed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Actively so. Through medication and recovery work.
Okay.
So there's going to be psychiatric meds that are going to play part of that. Remember, they don't have that part of the brain where it says that you're wrong, like you are hurting this person. You must have empathy. You must have sympathy. They don't have that.
Yeah.
So the meds that then they will get prescribed would activate that part of the brain.
Sure.
All right.
Okay.
And then they need to be like full-time, consistently on recovery work.
Yeah.
Because they must learn better coping mechanisms without harming the next person.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So most narcissists that have worked on themselves, I've seen on TikTok, it's one guy from Australia and one guy from America. I've never met a female narcissist who's been clinically diagnosed as a narcissist, and they say that I am a narcissist and I'm working through my psychotherapist and my psychiatrist, and I've got my psychologist there, and I'm doing rehabilitation work on myself so that I can get better and I treat people better. So these two guys, they even teach what they would do, like at their worst.
Yeah.
And into humiliating people, into taking advantage of people. Yeah. They would actually explain it.
Yeah.
And it's for awareness purposes and
educational.
Educational as well. So there isn't, scientifically, we haven't found a cure.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm cured now. I'm no longer a
narcissist.
I got a call at the moment.
Yeah.
But there is management tools for that.
When someone is still doubtful about the fact that they could be a narcissist, what should they be looking out for?
Sorry. The fact that they are doubtful, whatever thought is coming, then it means that they don't have the capacity to comprehend whether it is or not.
Yeah.
So they need to go to a mental health professional that specifically deals with trauma recovery and narcissism.
Okay.
Because not all therapists or psychotherapists are the same, right? So you can go let's say you go to a person who is a therapist and they are not trained for trauma. It's not that they did anything wrong. It's just that what you came for is not what they offer, type of thing.
Yeah.
And this is, I think I've said it to you, this is why I would say to even my clients, you are allowed to fire a therapist if it's not working out.
Yes.
Until you find someone. Yeah. So you need the psychological direction or system into place to now really understand the factors that you might be or you might not.
Or you might,
right?
Yeah.
And then you can take it from there. It's not a matter, especially if you come from a place of wound. You can't just wake up for yourself and say, it's not. You really do need, you need someone to hold your hand. And ChatGPT is not going to do it.
Do you think people check on ChatGPT if they're narcissists?
No, they do.
What?
Yeah, no, they do.
Oh.
So I do a survey every week on ChatGPT, and I ask Chat, what are the things that people have asked you in the spectrum of whether narcissism, unhealed trauma, first daughters, and whatnot?
Yeah.
You know, most question is actually, am I a narcissist? Am I a toxic person? Do I have trauma? Do you understand?
Yeah.
Listen, ChatGPT is designed according to how you prompt it.
Of course.
It's based on your behavior.
Yeah.
So obviously your behavior, you're going to, you don't want to call yourself out.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is not going to call you out. In fact, ChatGPT is going to say, no, time is the problem.
Yes.
Type of thing. And you know me.
In fact, I think the most difficult thing, even with a diagnosis of narcissism, is that you're probably going to say to a psychotherapist or a psychiatrist, when they ask you the questions that are supposed to allow them to diagnose you, you're probably going to lie.
Yeah.
Because it's important to you to look a certain way, to keep a certain face.
Yeah.
But also the things that they're going to ask you, you will think, no. Am I this? Am I that? Nah, I can't be. And then you lie.
Yeah.
And then the diagnosis is not truthful.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So the human experience of mental health recovery and healing, right? You can't lie to me because I've read your body, because I'm clinically trained to know you're gonna, that could be like a sign for me.
Yeah.
Or you can, I will just okay, I noticed something. Sometimes I would ask, why did your demeanor just change now?
Yeah.
What just happened? What did you sense?
Yeah.
And what did you feel in your body? ChatGPT is not going to ask you that.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is not going to ask you
that.
It
doesn't even have access to that.
It doesn't have that.
True.
Yes, I think for immediate assistance of where you really need to talk to someone at that moment, like I'm going through it, what can I do?
What's going on?
Yes, it can support you.
Yeah.
Because now with my team, we are building a ChatGPT that is supporting for that. Because I can't be available 24 hours to my clients.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a support tool when I'm not available. But it's going to be designed on what I've already worked with you. So now how it will answer you is based on how it understands you. Because that information would have been a data that has been collected in it.
Does poverty cause narcissism?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Poverty is trauma.
Yeah.
Poverty is degrading a sense of human functionality.
Here's why I'm asking you this. I have noticed that a lot of even leaders, successful CEOs and who come from a poverty background tend to be narcissistic. And in my mind, I concluded that it must be that you would need a lot of self-pampering, grandiosity to actually get yourself to a place where you believe that you can get the things that you aspire to get, where you believe that you even deserve those things.
You're entitled to it.
That you were entitled to it because you were poor.
Yeah.
The second one would also be not necessarily coming from a rich family, but coming from parents who always taught you that you are better than you actually are.
Yeah. That is the golden child. That is the dynamic of the golden child.
Yeah.
So a dysfunctional family system produces two kids if there is more than one sibling, right?
Yeah.
Chances are the firstborn is actually going to be the scapegoat child, but they can also be the golden child. So the scapegoat child, this is the child who is not cared for on an emotional level, mostly. The child that is overlooked, that is allowed to figure things out on themselves, was always punished. They always go through a lot. That is the scapegoat child.
Yeah.
Then the golden child is the one where I'll make an example about me.
Yeah.
So I was the scapegoat child. Everything that was wrong in my mom's life, it was because of me.
Okay.
And she would even say it.
Yeah.
And I'll be so confused as to Nandi Pimna even on what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not even home when this happened. How did it become my problem? And then my brother that came after me, Wei Kumkani, they even called him that. Kumkan.
Which means king.
King.
Yeah.
Yes. They called him that, Kumgani. So he was the golden child. He was the child that got away with everything.
Yeah.
He was like, when I would say, Mama, my brother did this and this and this, I would get beaten. Ooh, you are the older one. So now he is experiencing him being pampered and me being diminished. So he learns to manipulate this in his favor. He would even collude on doing things, and I will have a fall on
knowing that you'll take the fall.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people think, they think the golden child is the one that had it easy. Actually, that is not true.
Yeah.
The golden child also gets impacted by the narcissistic upbringing.
Yes.
By the parent.
Yeah.
How the parent is parenting the kids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this one is also going to have a misidentity, the golden child, because they must always look perfect.
Yeah.
In their eyes of parents.
Yeah.
So they also lose a sense of identity as much as the scapegoat also. So both of these people, or the golden child and the scapegoat, get suppressed.
Yeah.
Me and my brother's relationship is, oh my God, it's not good, right?
Okay.
Recently, I brought him back in.
Yeah.
After cutting him off for 8 years.
Sure.
But now when I brought him in, I realized that this man has not, because he's 31. So I realized that this man has not worked on himself. And I felt like I was dealing with my mom all over again. So I had to remove him. Now I didn't cut him off, but I've gone low contact, because there's the difference between low contact and cutting.
No contact.
Yes.
Yeah.
And cutting someone off. So until he realizes that how our mother parented us did impact us negatively, even though he might have not gotten more beatings than I did, but it did impact him. And he's got a sense of, you need to show up for me at any given point in time. Go pick me up, wake up, go drop me off. Can you buy me this for my lunch? Do that. And he doesn't have a sense of responsibility for himself. And he wants to be saved all the time because his parents taught him that. But he's also a victim as much as I was of that type of dysfunctionality we were brought in.
When you're saying that, it's triggering the fact that even with this retreats that we're doing, there are last-born daughters and what that are saying, all about us. Oh, you're not here. And we're like, but go find your own group.
Create your own.
Create your own group. but they are taught that, Tina, we are there to serve them.
Yeah.
We are there to take their crown.
To that.
And they're entitled to it.
Yes, they are definitely entitled to that. So that sense of poverty, right, that a person experiences trauma because he needs to learn survival.
Yeah.
And chances are the grandiose executive, right?
Yeah.
Who might be a narcissist or portraying narcissistic traits, had to figure out and get him where they are in life.
Yes.
And because he lacks emotional maturity and awareness, or she lacks emotional maturity awareness, because it's not just the males, it's the females too.
Yeah.
They then are like you can't tell me nonsense. You can't tell me ish.
They're very arrogant. Hey?
Yeah, like I had to, do you know what I needed to do to get where I'm at?
Yes.
You know, that type of thing.
You know who I am?
Yes. This has been survival for them.
Yeah.
Some of them become meanies, bullies, for that matter. Right now, I'm dealing with a pandemic of female executives who are torturing other employees in the company.
Yeah.
Every single day. I even said, it's different organizations, different industries, but it's the same common trait that is coming from female executives.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell is actually going on now? So this person doesn't have a sense of self-awareness or emotional maturity.
Yeah.
So when these elements are not in play, they are now going to become mean because life was not good to them. That's why we say hurt people.
Yeah.
So it's because they didn't do recovery, repair work, and healing work. They haven't done it.
Yeah.
And I mention or keep emphasizing on the traits part because not everyone is an NPD, right?
Yeah.
Some would just have the traits that show up more overtly than others or more covertly than others.
Yeah.
And they learned how to survive on their own without support versus someone who had parents who was there for them and supported them. And that person doesn't need to be a meanie. I've realized that actually people who come from backgrounds where they had some form of affluence or money, and they didn't need to survive in that upbringing, they are the most humble and sweetest people ever. very understanding, and very self-aware with people's emotions. You know, some of them you would think that they've even been to therapy because of how they speak, but it's because they were taught how to regulate themselves from a very young age. They were given that opportunity.
Unless you are raised in a good, well, we wouldn't call it a good family, but a rich family. But you were also taught that when we get to the airport, we don't stand on the line.
Yeah.
Right? When we get coffee and it's not how we want it to taste, we throw it out because we are the Dlaminis and we have money. Like, do you know who we are?
Yeah.
There's also that. So the contrary of poverty is also like a badly raised rich person.
Yes.
Would also probably be
just like
narcissist.
Just like a person who has been raised in poverty, but then they end up doing the work, so they don't end up being that type of toxic or abusive person. So a lot of people would say, like, I get a lot of clients that would say, hi, Mina, I ticked everything that you mentioned. Hey, I was like, I'm this person, but I had a nice upbringing. Me, I lacked nothing at home. You know, everything was just fine. My childhood network was okay. Right? And only to realize there was a lack of attunement. There was money. There was all these things around. But they never would sit with parents like this and have conversations like, how are things? What's happening at school right now? They only know maybe tutors coming in, not parents helping them. You know? And that is emotional unavailability that causes trauma. So they're like,
but I had it good.
I thought
I'm like, poor.
Yes. I'm like, you don't know what you don't know until you know it, when you have that awareness. So there's also dysfunctionality in a system where there's money. There's also dysfunctionality. As much as in a system where there's poverty, there's dysfunctionality. Nalapa, this side, there's also dysfunctionality too.
What's our final healing message for people that need to recover from narcissistic abuse? And people that are struggling with narcissistic traits?
Would the last question or the second question, struggling with narcissistic traits on a personal level or experiencing them?
So a person who is struggling with or dealing with a narcissist, and a person who is seeing that they've got narcissistic traits or a narcissistic personality.
Okay.
So both the lion and the hunter. What message do we have for them?
Right. Everything that you experience and that you do, that you see, has a connection of something that was unresolved. All the time. The moment there's questioned, there's something that doesn't connect. That's why there's a question in place. So in order for you to get that resolve, find yourself someone that can make you see better. Because that person becomes now your blind spots. Right? Instead of just being the person who sees and hears and feels no evil. Rather have a second opinion. And it doesn't necessarily have to be from a professional like myself, right? It could be a friend that you know that this person is safe. So meaning that their intention on even how they would say something, they might, maybe you're going to come and ask, Kanyisa, tell me, do you think I'm normally manipulative in the friend system, right? And if that person, your friend, is emotionally matured and has emotional availability, they're gonna say, friend, you do actually. And I've noted it in this way, whatever the case might be. So when there's a question, there is an opportunity for repair. There, right? Then now, if you are dealing with someone who is a narcissist, right? Cutting that person off or ending that relationship, platonic or not, is not enough. In fact, that is the bare minimum. The absolute bare minimum. Because narcissism is one of the traumatic experience that really sticks on a person long term. So you really now need to see a professional in this case. You really need to see a professional in this case so that you can do the repair and recovery and healing work, so that you can experience your transformation.
And your true self. Without your identity being distorted.
Definitely. Because a lot of us, people that normally would say, this is just how I am.
Yes.
I always
Trauma response.
yeah, that's a trauma response.
Yeah.
But the more you try to show this person, the more defensive they are. Now it's time for you to step back because they are a danger to themselves. So they are more of a danger to you too.
Yeah.
Because they have, a person who has no sense of awareness is like a car with no mirrors.
Yes.
Abayaz, normally it's safe now to turn the leg
anytime.
or at whatever the case might be. It's almost like a person who doesn't understand K53 in order for them to drive in the South African roads. I don't know other countries what type of system they use, but within the South African context, we need to learn K53.
Yeah.
So if you don't have self-awareness of what's happening with you, you are a danger to everyone around you.
Yeah.
As much as you're a danger to yourself.
And everyone around you.
Yes.
Sure.
And then the last one, you are not broken. You are not broken. You are just wounded that didn't have an opportunity for repair.
Sure.
So that you can heal properly.
Yeah.
And just like a broken arm, if it wasn't healed properly during the time the injury happened, the pain or whatever issues will come up later on. And in order for it to repair, medical doctors will then have to take you to surgery. They break you, you know?
Again.
And then now the repair properly and recovery and healing starts happening in a proper way so that that arm is functional.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, the wounds might still be visible, who's born, or you can remind you psychologically, you will remember something like this happened. But just like myself, for those who know my story on a personal level, and those who might just know it a bit, you can move from a place of trauma to a place of complete transformation.
Hence, you run a company called Beyond Pain.
Yes, because there is life beyond pain, beyond the suffering, beyond the trauma that you've experienced. And to the first daughters, since you have a very emotional also attachment to it, and how you've seen and experienced what first daughters go through, that you are not good enough for what people can just take from you.
Sure, yeah.
You are also good enough to be valued, to be seen, to be validated, to be loved at your absolute optimal level without you doing anything.
Yeah. Just
just
existing.
I've seen you transform right in front of me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would say, look at you. True. Today I'm sitting in front of a beautiful lady. This is amazing. From where? And there's a hairline. Honey, there is a hairline. That is this.
And thank you.
Where you've moved to where you are, this is the transformation we are talking about. And if you remember, I said, I'll hold your hand until you no longer want to hold my hand.
Yeah.
But what you're going to experience, what I can promise you, is you are going to recover and heal.
Yeah.
What I can't promise you is going to be easy.
Yeah.
And now you have your transformation and you are able to take the next first daughter's hand and say, look, this is the way. I mean, you are running workshops, you are running all the retreats and all these things that you're doing. This platform is impactful.
Yeah.
And you are not someone who didn't do the work. This is not fluff.
Yeah. No, it requires deep work.
This is not fluff for you.
Yeah.
This is something that you've gone through and lived through and you've gone on the other side. This is beyond pain.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you for holding my hand. Thank you for birthing my own ministry to hold other women's hands. And I think I always say that when you are healed people, heal people. Yeah. As we say that hurt people hurt people, healed people also heal people. And thank you for committing to your healing and helping me with my healing, for me to help others with their healing.
It's a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect.
And I love it.
There we go. That's a legacy. And this has been the Legacy Collective with Khanyisa. Goodbye.